A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a landmark verdict, 3 former Memphis police officers were convicted on Thursday in connection with the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols, a case that has ignited national outrage and calls for significant reforms in policing practices. The jury, after 6 hours of deliberation, delivered a mixed verdict against Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith, with all 3 found guilty of witness tampering and obstruction of justice. However, they were acquitted of the most severe charges relating to civil rights violations that led to Nichols' death. The tragic events unfolded on January 7, 2023, when Nichols was stopped by police for alleged reckless driving. During the encounter, Nichols fled on foot but was subsequently apprehended by the officers. In a brutal display of force, the officers were accused of beating him as he called out for his mother. Nichols succumbed to his injuries 3 days later, leading to widespread protests and a renewed focus on police accountability. During the trial, prosecutors highlighted the officers' actions as a blatant disregard for human life, arguing that they sought to punish Nichols for fleeing. They described how the officers laughed and bragged about the assault, failing to render medical aid as Nichols lay injured on the ground. Federal prosecutor Catherine Gilbert emphasized that the officers had no intention of allowing Nichols to escape accountability, stating, "They wanted it to be a beatdown." In contrast, defense attorneys for the officers contended that their clients acted within the bounds of departmental policy and denied any excessive use of force. They argued that the situation escalated rapidly and that the officers were merely responding to a perceived threat. Haley was acquitted of the most serious civil rights violation charge, but was found guilty of a lesser charge concerning bodily injury. Bean and Smith were cleared of civil rights violations entirely. The sentencing for the convictions is set for January 22, 2025, with potential penalties reaching up to 20 years in prison for witness tampering and obstruction charges, and 10 years for the civil rights violation charge against Haley. The verdict was met with mixed emotions from Nichols' family. His mother, Rovon Wells, expressed her relief at the convictions, stating, "This has been a long journey for our family. I'm actually in shock right now." Meanwhile, his sister, Kiana Dixon, described the day as bittersweet, acknowledging the accountability but lamenting the loss of her brother. Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark offered condolences to the Nichols family, stating that the prosecution aims to provide some measure of comfort as the officers are held accountable for their actions. The case has not only highlighted the urgent need for police reform, but has also sparked a national conversation about the systemic issues within law enforcement agencies. The trial also featured testimony from 2 other officers involved in the incident, Emmett Martin III and Desmond Mills Jr., who pleaded guilty to several charges and provided evidence against their former colleagues. Their testimonies painted a grim picture of the events that led to Nichols' death, with Martin admitting to feeling anger and wanting revenge after Nichols fled. Mills, visibly emotional on the stand, expressed regret over his actions, stating, "I made his child fatherless. I'm sorry. I know sorry won't bring him back, but I pray his child has everything he needs growing up." The case has drawn attention not only for the brutality displayed by the officers, but also for the culture of silence and complicity that can exist within police departments. The Memphis Police Department's Scorpion Unit, to which all 5 officers belonged, has since been disbanded in the wake of Nichols' death. As the Nichols family prepares for the next steps in their pursuit of justice, they are also seeking $550 million in damages from the officers and the city of Memphis. This case serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing struggle for accountability and reform in law enforcement, as communities nationwide demand change to prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.